so let's talk about this one, Mark, because the story of the game, really, we contained Tonga exceptionally well. We executed our game plan almost flawlessly for 72 minutes, built ourselves a strong lead, kept them from doing what they'd been doing in tournaments. We'd been limiting the amount of effect that Jason Tamalolo had. We'd kept possession well, we defended staunchly, built that lead up, took the 2 when necessary in order to make it a 3-score game, and then...
And not a centre scored the try that won us the game.
Pardon?
It's not a centre, but he scored the try that won us the game.
Big Johnny Bateman, yeah, absolutely. So it was going flawlessly, and I was so pleased at that point. And it was just that little bit of taking the foot off the gas. But I think...
Was it taking the foot off the gas?
No, I don't know. Well, I say that. I think that's what everyone's putting it down to. But to be honest with you, I think Tonga were capable of this period of everything coming off for them at any time in the game.
I think there was always a chance that they were gonna break free at some point, because they've got players that had an ability to succeed when throwing caution to the wind, which is kind of how they got into that position for that first try that they scored. And then the emotion and the atmosphere really
lifted them.
Get on their side. I mean, up to that point, probably a lot of the stats would have looked quite even. One of the things that England were doing a lot better than Tonga, I thought, was controlling the game, was not making too many silly mistakes, not giving away too many silly penalties, and really organising everything, and being better on their own goal line and on the Tongan goal line.
Yeah.
Everything was more organised in defence and attack in those points, after scrambles, after breaks, either which way. England got set better to defend their breaks or to work on scoring points from our chances. And then they just controlled it until something happened.
Yeah.
It just...
They were in control until they weren't.
Even when Tonga scored that first try, it didn't feel to me like England were going to slip up.
No.
Even when the ridiculous forward pass to Fafita that set up the quick play of the ball for the second try...
Got through the net.
And it was a bit of a weak defensive effort. I still thought, well, we've been so controlled, it's going to be okay. I suppose the only flutter in all of that was when O'Loughlin came on, got hurt on his first or second tackle that he made after coming back on in the second half, and then went straight off again. And I thought, that's a worry.
Yeah.
Because now we've got to rotate through the other guys who are all tired, and they've just brought on their big 3 and started to wind them up again, and maybe they can put a bit more of a front. But I still thought we had the kicking game, we had the kick chase game, we had the determination to just see it through. And we did, I suppose, in the end, but bloody hell.
Yeah, we didn't half cut it fine, did we? So, does anybody... Let's talk about Andrew Fafita.
Before we do that, let's talk about Jerry. Because Jerry nearly went from absolute hero, king of the World Cup, to ultimate zero.
Yeah.
Cass texted me saying something like, as great as he's been, I would never have forgiven him. And I would have given him abuse every single time I saw him if that had resulted in us losing the World Cup semi-final. The loose carry, it was giving us a knock-on, and that started. That would have ended the game. That set, then England could have taken a few drives and then kicked a touch, and the game would have been over, because it was that happened with just over a minute to go. I think about a minute 20 to go, and he'd done so well to get the ball, and it was. Why did he need to feel to be so elusive?
No, just do what you've been doing, Jerry.
Don't do what you've been doing.
Just find the floor.
Yeah. And all his career, all he ever does is makes contact with someone, and if he doesn't barge through them, he drops to the floor straight away. There's no arm out to the side, and there's no looking to step around them because
that is Super League Jerry McGilvray. What we had on our hands was World Cup Jerry McGilvray.
So to me, that was actually a strip because the player wasn't actually trying to tackle McGilvery. He was trying to get his hands on the ball, and he actually put both hands around the ball and ripped it out. But he was giving us a knock on and a loose carry.
And as it transpired, that set
pretty crucial distinction.
Set a pretty healthy precedent for us, didn't it? Because following that, Samo had the ball, worked it around a little bit. The clock was ticking down.
It was tackle. It was on the
4.
Yeah, it was on the 5th tackle of the set, wasn't it? So tackle 4 had just happened on the right-hand side of the field. The ball was getting shifted over to the left-hand side of the field.
Yeah.
Fafita found himself in a channel running wide, which
Fafita,
we don't see very often.
No, but we do see Andrew Fafita with the ball in his hand at the very end of important games, though.
Yeah.
And he knows how to win them, and he knows how to find the line and find a try.
And he got through. And Elliot Whitehead, in what was so much a better game for him compared to the game that he'd had, to the tournament he'd had previously. Really, he was decent in the quarterfinal, but he was decent again in this game. Whereas in the group stage games, he wasn't so hot. I didn't find.
Yeah,
and he comes up and just flings himself at
Andrew Fafita.
At Andrew Fafita. Did we say David before? We probably did. At Fafita. And tackled for the man and just happened to get a hand around the ball in the tackle motion.
Yeah.
That clearly was a loose carry, because actually Fafita had the opportunity to hold on to the ball still after the touch, because it wasn't a reef of the ball, it was a clamber for the man that was is entitled to attack around the ball.
Of course he is.
And the man with the ball is supposed to keep hold of it, and actually had an opportunity to keep hold of it, because it didn't come out on impact.
No.
It loosened on impact, and as he kept going, the next frame, the frame after that, it was still sort of with it, and it came out the frame after that.
Yeah.
And it was just marvellous that I didn't go to the video referee, because that would have been unbearable to watch.
It was fair. It was the right call. I do feel desperately sorry for people to lose a semi-final in that way, and we would be heartbroken had it been happening the other way around to us. So you can absolutely feel for the Tongan fans and players, and the grace that the Tongan players showed predominantly once everything had calmed down. I know Fafita was unhappy initially, which you can understand, but the actual grace that all those players showed in defeat.
It was far better one the fans showed. Fucking petition writing knobheads.
Well, look, I almost think, well, fair play. Look, I would be. I don't know if I would go so far as to start a petition. I don't know if I would be. 2 days of protests is strictly, in the bigger scheme of things, what the world needs.
I tell you, can shut his fucking gob.
Willie Mason.
No.
All right, go on. The King of Tonga.
No, what's his name? It's gone from my head now. Laurie Daly.
Oh,
he said something about like how it was. They were cheated out of it and all this, and then who was the bloke who said it was sort of some guy who I don't think is like a rugby league guy,
no,
but is someone of Pacific Island heritage. Basically implied it was
racism.
Due to inherent racism, that the person doesn't realise is there, so it wasn't conscious racism, but it was subconscious or unconscious racism. What a load of shite!
Yeah, absolutely. Just designed to stoke.
So obviously it was unconscious racism when they didn't give the Ryan Hall try 5 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
What a load of tripe!
It was a load of tripe, and it soured for me what was the Tongan experience in this World Cup, because they came in and obviously there was the big story to start before the World Cup of the players not defecting but coming back to the team of their heritage and the strength that potentially gave them, the performances that they put out there.
And some of the players really stepping up and showing beyond what you've really seen from them before. I think Takiaho was the best I've ever seen him play in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely so.
Certainly Hingano was great. Hurrell put in some really
Hurrell more reliable
particularly
than I've
with
ever
the ball.
seen him, yeah.
He made his errors still occasionally. But not so much in this game, I would say.
Connie Hurrell really, really dangerous in this game.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we did very well was we dealt well when the high kicks went up to their wingers as well, where they were looking competitive with those two tall wingers.
Hall was fantastic.
Handled that perfectly, didn't we? Absolutely. And before we we know we're going back in the game now. All this
But
would
we had
be
to start at the end,
all this
pretty
would be a
much.
moot point if they hadn't bombed that try early in the second half. Which was it going to? Who was it going to? Was it to Hopewati?
No.
Who knocked on right on the
Tupu.
line? Tupu knocked
Yeah.
on right on the line.
Yeah.
Now, I know you can't say, well, if they hadn't bombed that, they would have won. The game would have taken a different turn.
It would have
But the story
all
of the
run
game-
differently, but still, yeah.
The story of the game is there in the areas, and we made them work really hard to get anything going in attack.
One of the other things I wanted to mention is how has Will Hopewati got away with this?
The hypocrisy of I'm not playing on a Sunday for.
Oh, no, because it was on Saturday anyway.
All right, cool. But he has
He did play on Sunday, yeah, but no, not that. His tackle caused Josh Hodgson's injury. Josh Hodgson tried to play on, but he deliberately twisted the knee. No one can tell me otherwise. It was fucking blatant.
Yeah.
He made a half break, and Hopewati was actually coming from behind on the retreat, I think, if I remember right. Anyway, he got him when Hodgson sort of got just about through the line. And Hodgson was playing really well in the first half of this game.
Yeah.
Up to the point that he got crocked. And he got him round the legs, rolled over on him, and deliberately twisted his leg. There's no two ways about it, as far as I'm concerned.
And it has gone under the radar, hasn't it?
Completely gone under the radar. It was remember was it Mark Sneed on Danny Maguire or Jamie Shaw on Danny Maguire? Well, Mark Sneed on Danny Maguire, weren't it?
Yeah.
And he copped a ban for that and stuff. That was it was every bit that, if not worse. There was one where
Remember Isaac Luke on Ran You Chase in that series? He did him as well. He twisted him, didn't he?
Yeah, there was that. That was nasty. There was another one. It reminded me of a bit was there was one that I think it was Jeremiah when he was at Hull still on Ryan Hampshire.
Right.
When he twisted his ankle. Similar thing. But these are all instances where it's been clear, and in the other instances players have been cited and stuff. I hadn't heard. Maybe I've missed it. But I hadn't heard any mention of that.
Unless it happened.
He should have been in Super League. If it had been spotted and picked up on, it would have been an automatic sin bin for dangerous contact, and then he would have been up before the disciplinary, and he'd be out for 2 games.
We need to start a petition, Mark. That's what you do these days.
Well, there you go, yeah.
It's not like a Hopewati to injure people.
Well, I was ready to get my petition started about let's go back 2 more sets or 3 more sets to the forward pass and stuff, because it's absolute.
It was bobbing.
I mean, even if it wasn't a loose carry and it was a stripped out, then actually that was tackle 6 because it should have been tackle 1, not tackle 0 on the Jerry McGilvery one.
Yeah.
Now, are they going through hands to Fafita in the centre's position on tackle 6? With the game on the line, with 20 seconds left, if it's tackle 6, not tackle 5,
Of course.
they're not, are they? They're putting a kick in.
Yeah.
So the whole makeup of things is completely different.
Yeah. Doesn't matter though.
No, I know, but
Because we won.
But it does matter.
Well, yeah, it would
because so many people still think
that they were harshly done.
But it was a great spectacle.
Fabulous.
What an environment! The
Atmosphere
comeback made it so much more than what it had been up to that point. Because up to that point, it was just these Pacific Islanders can't really get it together in the big games, and this England side are playing boring NRL kind of completion football.
Yeah.
That's going to win you. Because you just wear them down to the point where they're so tired that they can't tackle John Bateman on the line. They can't get up and stop that try from happening, which they probably would have been able to earlier in the game or without the same amount of pressure. But yeah.
There you go. But it did take England through to the World Cup final. And Mark, unfortunately, that is what we're going to have to talk about now. Because we waited 20 odd years for it. We thought we were going to have one 4 years ago. No thanks to Kevin Sinfield, but England took on Australia last Saturday in the World Cup final. It finished 6-0 to the Australians. Boyd Cordner getting the try, Cam Smith kicking the goal. Before we start talking about it, let's get everyone else's feedback.
Mitchell Darts said, "What a final. Unpatriotic as I am, I'm gutted for England. Defence was tremendous, but attack at times in the few opportunities inside the Oz 10-20 wasn't what it needed to be. Sadly though for England, it definitely is the one that got away."
Neil McKeown said, "A brilliant game. Australia for 60 minutes just played the completion game. England threw away so many chances near their line. It came down to England inexperience in big games. was clear, and Australia kicking on the last tackle was a masterclass. Last 20 minutes was end to end. Still think the selection of Bateman at 3 was a brain fart by Bennett, along with Oxygen Feet Heighton. Super League has a lot.
It means Heighton.